Morning guys, a great start to the day so far. Woke up nice and early, did some social media stuff, had my first client, now driving to my second, and we're doing some posing. So he's got a photo shoot in about a week, and we're going to run over some poses just to help with his presentation, just to make the shots look a little bit more aesthetic. It's one thing, you know, doing all that work and achieving a nice physique, but it's a completely different thing presenting in a way that looks pleasing to the eye. So we're just going to touch up on that, maybe get a few video clips filmed to show you some before and after pictures. So it's an hour session, we'll see what we can do. Just pull those elbows up, little finger back to me. Good. Just lean back a tad more till you touch. Lovely. Much better. Relaxed. Good. That looks nice. Really. So that was a great session. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Mark was chuffed with the results. Big difference in the before and afters, and I'll pop them on the screen in the bottom left hand corner so you can check those out. I'll put them on social media as well. Just simple stuff, but makes a big difference in terms of how the physique looks, the aesthetics, the flow of the physique. He's got a photo shoot next week, so it kind of makes sense to spend some time working on the presentation. So yeah, really happy with that, and I'm sure he'll use that kind of experience going into the photo shoot next week. I mean, you can think of a lot of bodybuilders in the past that really didn't work on their posing, and it kind of ruined their stage presence. You know, Paul Dillett springs to mind. So this afternoon, I'm being a taxi man for my girlfriend. She's out selling some Thai puddings, very light, very delicious. So I'll do that probably for another hour. I've got my food with me, which I'll show you in a bit. So these are the puddings. Very, very nice, very, very tasty, quite light, not too much sugar, quite low in fat predominantly. And I love them, but obviously can't really eat much of them at the moment, dieting. So we just go and stop off in a few places and try and sell some and you know, make sure a bit of pocket money. So I'm going to get driving now, next stop, and I'll see you on the next clip, guys. So these are my absolute favourites. They're so delicious. So this is like assortments of jelly, beans, jackfruit, sweet corn. Oh, it's just so tasty. It's slightly sweet, the texture's lovely, and you pour this kind of creamy, salty coconut milk on it, and it's just so delicious. It's unbelievable. And then this one, again, one of my favourites, tapioca balls. So inside's like garlic and I can't remember what she puts in there, but all sorts of, I mean, it's all very, very healthy. And then it's small tapioca balls, which obviously are starch, base carbohydrate, made into lovely balls with some oil on, like a garlic oil you have with lettuce, herbs and stuff. So yeah, they're my favourite. So I'm going to have a quick bit of lunch now. Very, very simple. I've got some chicken breast with one of those frozen vegetable and rice pouches. Quite nice. I've got some white pepper and lime on that. That'll taste nice with a little bit of sweet chilli sauce. So that'll tide me over for the rest of this afternoon. So unfortunately, there'll never be a time and a place where there isn't temptation. You'll be surrounded by it constantly. Here I am sitting down on the side of the road, and there are restaurants and takeaways all around me. All around me. I've got my girlfriend's puddings in the back. I'll be delivering a bit of pizza tonight, so there'll always be temptation there. There are no excuses. If you want to set a target within a certain period of time and you have to do X, Y, and Z to be able to achieve that target, then you have to remain disciplined to be able to do that. You have to be able to control your behaviour and your actions. And it's very empowering when you can do that. Very empowering. No, I'm not saying I have complete control over everything I do. You know, I'm not claiming I'm some sort of Buddhist monk. It's something that I have to work on, as we all do. But what a great start, though, to have control over your diet and what you put in your mouth. I mean, that's a fantastic start on that journey. And yeah, it's very empowering knowing that you have full control over that. There are no excuses. Going out for a family meal and using that as an excuse. Your kids' food in the cupboards, using that as an excuse. It's up to you to be able to control your behaviour. There will never be a time when there isn't temptation. So remember that.
You put on this one, yeah.
Morning guys, so I've just weighed out my chicken for today, 315 grams, and that will be spread out over a few different meals. I don't weigh each meal out separately, I just do my overall chicken or protein source for the day, and then I'll take from that what I need each meal. I just find that an easier way of doing it. It takes up a little less space in the fridge than doing, 4, 5, 6 Tupperwares every day. So this is the big Tupperware that I have. That's where I keep the protein, whether that's cod or chicken or whatever protein source that I'm having. And then on the day, I'll just cut up what I need and take the amounts for each meal. So it just takes a little bit less space in the fridge. So I plugged it into my FitnessPal. So we've got 325 grams there of chicken, which gives me just shy of 100 grams of protein. So yeah, that's the way I like to do it. You don't need to, weigh out each meal individually and line up your Tupperwares in the fridge for the next 2 or 3 days. I just find it more convenient to cook your protein, keep that in a big Tupperware, because the carbohydrates and the veg are really kind of easy to manage around that. So that's why I'm going to do it now. So I've got this first meal with some rice and veg, and I'll just kind of run you through exactly what I'm going to eat for today's breakfast in a bit. Okay, so first meal of the day, got my chicken breast with some veg and rice. It's one of those sachets that you just put in the microwave. It's weighed out already, so you can just scan it really easily. It's about 30 grams of carbs, this one. Lighter than light mayo, Nando's sauce. I have that with my vitamin C, and that's mixed in with my creatine and a coffee. And then I've also got a little bit of a treat here, and that's a Lindel's, how the hell you pronounce that, white chocolate protein yogurt. 15 grams of protein and 5 grams of carbohydrates. So very low day today, 1200 calories, 90 carbs, 150-55 protein, and the fats are down at say 20 to 25. So super low. Had one yesterday, feel fine this morning, no issues, energy levels are okay. I'm not saying that it's going to stay like that, but for the time being feel good and ready to continue to push just to drive my body fat down to those new lows and guarantee that I can get there in good time and be in a position where I can actually take the carbohydrates back up slightly towards the end. It's now or never. If I don't do it now, it's going to be too late and I'm probably not going to be able to do that, and it's going to be a battle all the way through. Still confident in the last week I'll be able to, kind of ease off, take my foot off the gas pedal. I've dieted hard enough now to be able to accomplish that, but I'd rather take it up for maybe 2 or 3 weeks if possible beforehand and finish that prep at, say 250 plus grams of carbs per day. So I'm going to get the work done now, really commit to it, give it the best shot that I can, and just suffer for it. Really enjoyed that breakfast earlier. It was very delicious. I've just done an hour's worth of PT. I'm now going to drop some leaflets in the general vicinity of where that client lives, so in the surrounding streets. Not going to do too much, to be honest, probably half an hour's worth. Even if I do 30 or 40 houses, it's still 30 or 40 eyes that get to see my promotion. And just trying to really go through these spares that I've got and get rid of them. I was testing out the QR code again last night. I actually saw that some of the pictures were having trouble to load on the landing page, which is really frustrating. I don't want that to be the experience that the person has to go through. I want it to be smooth, and yeah, I don't want to be having to face these issues. I found out that Wix is notoriously slow, so I tried to compress the images and it just doesn't seem to be helping. Did the like a Google speed test, and it is very slow. So now I'm thinking of kind of switching to something else. But obviously that, it's again a massive investment of time and energy. So, something else to contemplate. In the meantime, still it serves its purpose. It's just that the landing pages that I set up for the leaflets, there's a poster in another gym as well with a separate landing page on it, and there's a landing page for one of the online adverts that I run. So 3 separate landing pages there. They seem to be quite sluggish in the loading of the pictures, and even in this last one that I've compressed, it still just doesn't seem to load. I'll show you. So just let me log on a phone. So when the person gets the leaflet through the door, that's what it looks like. I'll just spin this around so you can see. And they scan it. Loads up. NEWHAM online coach. They've got the video, so that sped it up a little bit more, putting it on YouTube as opposed to embedding the video into the site. And yesterday this wasn't loading, so I had separate pictures for all of these, and a few of them were blurry. They just weren't loading, but it seems to be okay now. I've changed it and I've compressed it, got rid of some of the additional graphics that I was using, like the extra arrows down here, and they just go on the get started button and fill out the form. So this is specifically for local mobile PT. I've just got some of the transformations that my ongoing face-to-face and online clients have achieved thus far. But one of the other ones, so this is one of the other landing pages that I've got. I've got a poster up in the gym wall, because each video talks specifically to that potential client. Again, I couldn't get that video on YouTube because it's a short. It's actually a vertical video. Well, pictures are working now. Last night they just weren't working. They're all fuzzy. I think it's maybe my internet connection at home, because here I've got no problem whatsoever. They're loading nicely. It's looking good. So that kind of gives me hope. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I was in my house last night. I just couldn't get it to load properly. So this is a landing page for a poster that's on the gym wall that I train in currently. And again, you click the get started button, and it takes them to a slightly different sign up page. It was really, really frustrating me last night. I was up till about 1:30 trying to sort it out because I wanted to come and do some leaflets today, and it was just bugging me that if someone got the leaflet, that they'd scan the QR code and the pictures wouldn't load. And it's just, it just looks naff. So I just kept fiddling around with it last night, and then I checked the gym promotion as well, and those pictures weren't loading. Now today they are. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was for signal at home. I did try Wi-Fi and 4G, but I don't know, at home it just seems really lackluster as well, the signal in general. But yeah, that's cheered me up a bit, so I'm going to go and do these leaflets now, and then get some cardio done and show you what I'm going to have for lunch. So a very low day, as I said earlier. So I'm going to get to it now, lads. Okay, job done. That's all the leaflets distributed. Probably 60 or 70, maybe 30 or 40 minutes worth. That's the wad gone now. I've got no more left with me today. So I think I've got about 250 left at home. I'll try and get those out within the next week or so, just to finish up the leftovers. It's being proactive. It's better than nothing. Just get myself out and about more. I did some steps while I'm at it as well. So I'll probably go home now and get my lunch, show you what I'm having, hop on the treadmill for an hour, then just crack on with some more jobs. I've got a big checklist that I need to work through. Can I show you what's going on there? But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow's chest and back session. It's going to be a big one. Really excited for that. So yeah, next clip you'll see what I have for lunch. Okay, so a change of plan. I'm actually going to eat a little bit later. It's still quite early, 11:20, so I don't want to eat too much now, or I think it's going to cause trouble for later. I don't have to peak my energy for anything specific today, so I don't have to load the carbs in the morning. I can kind of spread them out throughout the day. It's no big problem. So I'm going to crack on with some work for an hour before then eating and then getting on the treadmill. So I've been working on a program for a client, preparing his warm-up sets and working weight sets, just to clear up any confusion there, so he can go into the gym and execute that. It's something he needs a little bit of extra help with, and that's great. So there's no kind of self-doubt that creeps in on those sets. Sometimes mistakes are made in terms of the warm-up sets being too easy or too difficult, too close to your working sets, too many reps on that last warm-up set, for example. So we've gone over that. I've left an accompanying voice note on WhatsApp to explain that. He's got the email, he's happy, he now can go into the gym just focusing on execution, knowing that it's all going to be really efficient and effective work. So I'm going to crack on with more social media posts. Check that condition out, guys. 2 weeks out, first show, he's done fantastic. Glutes looking striated on the outer edges. Really, really happy. So that'll be one of the posts that I'll upload. I'm also preparing a chest and back training video for Instagram and TikTok. Just to explain what I'm doing, showing a couple of reps of the working sets. And I'll upload that to an app called Captions. And it will basically prepare text on the screen to correspond to what I'm saying. So this video has been uploaded to the Captions app, and it's generated some text captions, and I will have to go through and edit that, but it seems to be quite trendy at the moment. The app costs about £6 a month. See if I can get some use out of it, make the videos look a little bit more professional, see what the feedback's like. But so far, yeah, quite impressed. But I will need to spend probably 5-10 minutes just going over that, making sure the words match, or the text matches the actual words that I'm saying. Woke up to this notification this morning. Really put a smile on my face. Someone had purchased the Excel tracker. And it's great because I put so much work and time into it. It really is a cool piece of kit. And you don't have to sort of bury your head in the phone when you're training. Just do it the old-fashioned way, pen and paper. Sit down at the end of the week, 5-10 minutes, and just plot it into the Excel spreadsheets, and you can then analyse exactly what's going on over the weeks and months. So yeah, really chuffed that someone gets to use it and experience it and ultimately benefit from it. So that's brilliant. Okay, so I've just spent some time working on Google Sheets preparing client timelines. So it's a tool that will very easily allow the client to be able to see where they're going to be headed over the next few weeks and months, where their targets are. It's all colour coded so they can see how they transition from phase to phase, what I expect of them for a certain phase and within a certain period of time. And it's really easy for me as well to track all of this data very quickly. I don't have to open up separate documents, it's all in the same place. And it's just another way of improving the client experience and raising the quality of my coaching service. And now this is of course on top of having access to the Excel tracker, where I would plug in their workouts, cardio and nutrition. This is just something that would take maybe 30 seconds to a minute for them to fill out prior to our consultation. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. This is Dean. He's doing really well at the moment. We've got the phases here all colour coded, so you can just check that more easily. Goals, and then the data here. Most of that will be filled in by me, so we can just easily see what's going on, and there'll be a couple of cells that he will fill out, such as body weight, total cardio notes, etc. And then I can see exactly what's going on and refer back to it if I need to in the future. We can see here, which I think is great for the client to be able to see exactly what we're going to be doing as the weeks progress, moving towards the targets. Obviously a lot of this is subject to change, but it's nice to have a rough kind of plan laid out, which I think is really, really important to make sure the client understands exactly what I require of them, what I need them to do, and where they should be in any given time. I think that's something that I can implement and really improve that coaching service. Okay, so lunch is prepared. Really looking forward to this, quite hungry now. I didn't really notice my appetite until I stopped working, realised how late it was, and it hit me hard. My stomach is now tying itself in knots. So I'm going to quickly run through this, show you what I've got. Super simple. So I've got a salad with lime juice and pickled onion, peppers, tomato, salt, some couscous down here. You can see that. I mean, that's just 35 grams, not a lot. And then some chicken here, with Lyston Light Mayo and Nano sauce, and I use those two quite extensively on just a small amount, but on every meal more or less. So in terms of breakdown, what that actually looks like for the day, there are my macros. As you can see, very low, and that totals 1,147. So it's going to be a tough week. Don't feel so bad now. I feel great to be fair. I'm a little bit hungry, but not so bad. I've got water, about a litre or so, with some creatine. You can see the creatine just sits at the bottom. Let me give it a good old shake. I find if you prepare creatine with hot water, it dissolves very quickly. With cold water, it kind of sits in the bottom, so you need to give it a good shake. Usually I'd either mix it with my vitamin C or sometimes even the coffee as well, which helps dissolve it more quickly. So I'm going to chow this down and then do some treadmill work. Okay, so I'm just scrambling up some egg whites, 200 grams, with chili powder, salt, pepper and lime juice. Lime juice helps to soften the eggs. They become really nice and soft. Lime juice or lemon juice, pop it in your scrambled eggs or omelette, it's lovely. So just stirring this up. I've got some chicken, the leftovers from today, so probably 100 grams worth, 110. I've got some veg I'll show you in a bit. So yeah, got to be disciplined. This is the last meal of the day for me, and it's 5:40. So the long, hard slog thereafter. I'll probably sip on some Dr. Pepper Light tonight to get me through. This is what it's about, you know, the show doesn't stop just because I'm on a diet. There's temptation all around me. Food is everywhere. Got pizza, rice, my favourite food. Girlfriend just cooked bucket loads of it. Naan, sausages, pork sausages with rind. You know, it never gets easier. This stuff's always going to be around you guys. Always. I've got fruit breads, biscuits, cakes. I've got my favourite pudding in the fridge. Thai pudding. You've got to have that mental discipline to be able to say no. To control your actions and your behaviour. Are you in control of your behaviour or not? And a diet is a really good way to know whether you can or not. Without this discipline in the kitchen, there's no chance that you're going to get into amazing physical shape. And these skills carry over so well to everything else in life. So that's pretty much ready. Throw that in with the chicken. This will be quite nice. We'll enjoy this. It's not that they don't enjoy the food. It's always very delicious. It's just you're always hungry. It's never enough. I mean, there's no starch-based carbs here at all, just from the veg really. And that's not going to fill me up, but it will suffice. So, quick ab check. That's what my current condition is looking like. We've got more to go. Another few kilos off yet. And by eating this kind of stuff on a regular basis, it's going to get me to where I want to get to. So yeah, last meal of the day, I've got a big chest and back session. I've got about 90 grams of carbs. I'm going to put it mostly in before that training session. Maybe a couple of hours before and then just before. Give me a little bit of a spike. Mixed with caffeine, it can be quite potent. I'll probably just have enough energy to, improve my fatigue levels. To have a good session. Looking forward to it. And this is the salad. I always like to have salad or vegetables with my food. I'm not a fan of just having like a starch-based carb or a meat. You typically see in a lot of these sort of bodybuilding videos, the motivational videos that I watch, which I do enjoy, but a lot of the time there's just like no veg. It's minimal carbohydrates. It's not obviously zero, but it just gives me a little bit of the nutrition that I want. I think it's well worth putting it in there. So we've got lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, pickled onion, and some lime that I'm going to squeeze upon the salad. It'll be lovely. So that was enjoyable. Quite full now actually, but I think it's more the fact that I just guzzled down nearly a litre of water. The hunger will return, it'll hit me later, but by and large today I felt really good. Tomorrow will probably be a different story. After training, I'm on my feet as well more, my overall calorie expenditure will be higher. So that hunger will probably hit me hard in the evening. As I said, I really want to try and get most of my food in before the session so I can peak my energy during that 2-3 hour window, and then I have to sort of slog it out thereafter. But it's sort of quite trendy, isn't it, at the moment, to do bodybuilding contests, prepare for photo shoots, which is great. I think it's fantastic, but I do think sometimes people need to wake up and just realise how hard this is. There's a big difference between having a decent gym body, something that looks good, maybe like a men's health cover model physique, a good physique. There's a big difference between that and getting bone dry, shredded for a bodybuilding contest. Ronnie Coleman used to say, everyone want to be a bodybuilder, but no one want to lift any heavy ass weights. Well, I would say everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to suffer. No one wants to take away those social events, take away those beers at the weekend, the weekly takeaway. To not have the same meal as your partner every single day, to make those sacrifices is not easy, and you've got to be prepared for that, otherwise you're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's not easy, and that's why not many people are able to do it. I think it's an experience everyone should try. Everyone's capable of doing it, but you have to be aware of what may entail before you set out on that journey, otherwise you're going to be in for a shock. It's a lonely journey. You're on your own for the most part. People around you won't understand, they won't care, and they're not going to give you sympathy. You don't deserve sympathy. It's your choice to be able to do this. So if you're looking for sympathy, forget it. And they'll say things that will make you question yourself. Oh, surely just one will be alright, or you can have a little bit, can't you? Or nag you if you're not going out the weekend, if you're a socially active person. These things you will have to block out and remain disciplined and understand that you're on your own on this journey. And count yourself lucky if you do have someone that's close that is very supportive and understanding. But I think by and large, for most people, it's going to be a lonely experience to get to this kind of body fat level, these extreme levels. But an extreme accomplishment requires extreme action. It's as simple as that. It requires extreme action. It doesn't need to be like this if you just want a good body. If you want to take it to that next step, then you really got to get serious. It's going to be very difficult to live a normal life whilst you do that. It's not impossible, but it will become difficult.